I'd like to invite out our speakers, Sebastian Nelson, co-founder and CEO, Kruva, and JT Sarafa, co-owner of Pop Daddy Snacks. Thank you guys so much for being here. Maybe just, for both of you guys, can you give us like a 30-second version of what's Pop Daddy and what's Kruva?
So Kruva is an all-in-one affiliate management platform. We help you find affiliates, manage those affiliate relationships, and then track all of the results all in one place. I got my start as a TikTok shop seller, and then now, obviously, on the software side, trying to help and empower other TikTok shop sellers.
Test. Uh-oh. Is it working? No. Wait. Test. All right, there we go. Pop Daddy Snacks is a popcorn and pretzel business, seasoned popcorn and pretzels. We're sold in about 40,000 stores across the U.S. and Canada, and we are one of the top-selling food items on TikTok Shop.
JT, Pop Daddy went from 0 to 700,000 a month on TikTok Shop and became the #1 food item on the platform. What is the sort of Pop Daddy origin story, and how did you get started on TikTok Shop?
Yeah, so I was tell you guys through the whole Pop Daddy origin story. So we're a family business. Me, my mom, and my sister. We bought my dad a popcorn machine for his birthday like 12 years ago, and he just started making popcorn in our basement for our friends and family, and people liked it. They'd ask for like weddings and events and stuff like that, so we'd make it for them. And then we just started selling it like on the weekends at the local farmers market, and then at a couple local stores in Michigan, where I'm from originally. And just slowly but surely grew the popcorn business throughout Michigan and the rest of the Midwest. In 2018, we launched Seasoned Pretzels, which actually now is a majority of the business. And we primarily grew the business through retail. So in 2023, we were in about 25,000 stores. About 90% of our sales came from retail. And we really wanted to diversify more into D2C and more into social media. And around that same time, mid-2023, is when TikTok Shop had just came out. I saw some other food and beverage brands doing well on there, and I was like, maybe we could do well on there too. So I got us set up on there, and we probably would have hired an agency to do it for us, like we do for Amazon, but like TikTok Shop was brand new. So there's literally no agencies that even existed at the time. So just had to figure it out myself, and it took a while to do so, but eventually in December 2023, we had our first big TikTok Shop month. We became the #1 selling food item on the platform. We did about $700,000 just that month alone on TikTok Shop, which was like completely business changing for us. I had to put up like Instagram posts asking friends and family to come help pack orders. Luckily, we went viral over like December, so it was over winter break. So we got a bunch of college students to come in for like $20 an hour and pizza for lunch, and that's how we got through the initial wave of TikTok Shop orders. But yeah, since then, we have been one of the top selling food and beverage items on the platform for the last 2 years now, and it's been a great platform for us.
Can you talk about the learning curve of you said that you had to sort of figure out TikTok Shop yourself?
Yeah, so it was like a 6-month process, right? About a lot of trial and error over the course of the 6 months. We had to play with the offer, we had to play with the content. We had to adjust a lot of things to get it to click, but eventually in December, it started to click.
Gotcha. Well, a lot of people talk about sort of the halo effect of TikTok Shop. Did TikTok impact other areas of your business just besides there?
Yeah, so when we took off on TikTok Shop, our website sales 4x, our Amazon sales 4x, and then before TikTok Shop, we were in about like 25,000 stores. Now we're in about 40,000 stores, Walmart's, Targets, and TikTok Shop played a big role in that. A lot of buyers at these retail stores, they like to see brands that have a strong social presence, and before TikTok Shop, we really didn't. But having a strong social presence has helped us get into more retailers, and it helped our turns on shelf in the retailers that we were already in as well. So if you're doing well in TikTok Shop, it's not just a sales channel, it's also a marketing channel. So it's impossible to do well on TikTok without getting hundreds of thousands or millions of views. And if you're getting the views, then it's obviously going to translate into awareness on other channels.
Well, what does your offer testing process look like?
Yeah, so it took a while to find the right offer for us to sell on TikTok Shop, and that's like one of the hardest parts about any brand that's starting on TikTok Shop is finding what they call your hero SKU. Typically, like 90% of a brand sales on TikTok will come from 1 or 2 SKUs that they call a hero SKU. So one of the hardest parts is finding what that SKU is going to be for your brand. So for us, like we started off by trying to sell stuff on TikTok the same way that we did on Amazon. So like we tried, to sell 3 large bags of our yellow mustard pretzels, 3 large bags of our garlic parm pretzels, and that didn't work. When we switched to a variety pack of all 9 of our flavors in smaller bags, that helped create a lot more variety. And TikTok Shop is very much a discovery platform. So you want to give customers an offer that allows them to have the least amount of risk as possible. So like our variety pack offer that started to do well, it gave customers who hadn't tried us before, which is pretty much all the customers on TikTok Shop, it gave them confidence that they were gonna like at least one of our flavors versus if they were buying like 3 large bags of our garlic parm pretzels. Like if they didn't like that flavor when they got it, like they were out of luck. So yeah, finding your hero SKU is one of the biggest challenges of TikTok Shop. But once you find it, you keep doubling down on it.
Is assessing what sells on the platform pretty self-evident, or is there an evaluation process of sort of figuring out what's doing best?
I would say it's just testing and iterating, right? Like we started with the three of each flavor, which we thought was going to do well, and then we saw that it wasn't doing as well, so we switched it. And then actually another interesting point too is when we started to do well with the variety pack, which is our hero SKU, we started to sell way more of the individual 3-packs because the variety pack was bringing people into the shop, and then they were starting to buy the other individual 3-packs. So even though all of our affiliate samples, all of our content was about the variety pack, we ended up selling more of the 3-packs because we were bringing in traffic to the shop as a whole with the hero SKU.
Gotcha. Well, you run a 50-50 split between brand content and creator affiliates. I think many people in this room think of TikTok as an influencer platform. What does the brand content side look like, and why does that matter? What would you tell them why it matters just as much?
So I think that brand content, like content that's posted on the brand page as opposed to content that's posted on an affiliate page, is one of the most underrated parts about TikTok Shop that most brands aren't doing right now. It's one of the biggest things that enabled our success. And the reason why that is because if you rely fully on affiliate content to start, it's tough to get the quality affiliates because all the best affiliates, they want to promote brands that are getting sales because they're just paid commission for the most part, right? So if they see a brand that's not getting sales, they're not going to be very inclined to post about it. So before we started to get sales, I'd reach out to a bunch of affiliates and we didn't get that quality of content or quality of affiliates reaching out. Once we started to get sales on our own content, on our own page, that's when we started to have more success with the affiliates because affiliates start to see us having sales. They become more inclined to post about us because it means that they're more likely to make money because they're just paid commission. And then when those good affiliates start posting, then other good affiliates see them, start posting, and it creates what people call the TikTok flywheel effect. So brand content is huge for us. We do a lot of order packing style videos, founder story type videos, street interview type content. I also work with a lot of other brands on TikTok Shop as well, and that's one of the things that we focus on them as well to start is the brand content. So we just had we made a video for Fishwife that went viral recently. I think it has over 5 million views. That's how they got their start on the platform, and then we're able to scale affiliates from there. Same thing with Pistachio. They're like a pistachio spread brand. We did a founder story video for them, and that helped them get the start, and now they're scaling with affiliates. And then Nara Smith Cooking Oil, same thing with them. Had the initial video start to do well from the brand page, and then it helps have longer term success with the affiliates once the affiliates start to see those initial sales.
Gotcha. Sebastian, I want to turn to you. You work with over 1,100 brands on TikTok Shop. When you look at the ones that scale versus the ones that kind of stall out, what are you identifying?
There's a lot of different things to look at. The first thing is just product. Firstly, is you got to compete generally in one of a few places. So novelty, price are generally really, really important, but then also visual elements. So is your product visual? And I can give some examples. I think for Pop Daddy, that novelty of the flavors is really, really what can help drive because they have very unique flavors. For cost, if you look at Shark Ninja, generally TikTok Shop is kind of a low AOV platform. It's what people have constantly said over and over again, that you can't really succeed if you're selling products that are more than, $70. But what Shark Ninja did is they took a product that was typically, let's say a $400 product, and they cut it down to $250 to make it a TikTok Shop exclusive, and they were able to go mega, mega viral. This kind of like blew a lot of our minds in the space because, again, we thought that those types of products just couldn't sell on the platform. But when you compete on cost, you can. And then lastly, like the visual element, this is just like so critical for brands. And if we look at Dr. Dent, which is a teeth whitening brand, they just blew up in the US, but they've been like #1 in the UK for a long time now. They were able to get to #1 in like a very, very short period of time in the US. And what they are is they're teeth whitening. So immediately, like the creators are able to create viral content with teeth whitening, right? They can show that like very clear before and after. And then all of the packaging and the product is actually purple, right? So immediately it like jumps out on screen. I'm not telling you to go make your product purple, but it just all like plays a part in creating virality. So if you can compete in one or, best case on all of those points, generally your product's going to do really, really well. And then number 2 is, at least on our side, JT deals a ton on Brand Page. I'm on the affiliate side, so like we optimize everything for affiliates. Is the brands that are really treating this like and building real infrastructure for it. So they're treating it like a true kind of standalone sales channel. It's like you have Brand Page, you have affiliate, and then you have live, right? Each of those is almost like a standalone sales channel. And for affiliate specifically, so much of it is just about like looking at the data, what hooks are working, what sales angles are working, and then behind that, like what type of affiliates are working, and then figuring out ways to double down on all of those things.
Well, if there was a brand in this room that was doing well on Meta and email, maybe on Amazon, and they were TikTok Shop curious, what do you see? What sort of as a rule, the first 90 days need to look like for them to sort of either be on the path or to have achieved success? Yeah,
I would say first 30 days is going to be like a lot of offer testing, like building the foundation. So as JT mentioned, so much of it is like finding that offer that actually sticks. For them, they were doing the 3 big bags. They transitioned to 9 samplers, smaller, and that is what hit for them, right? So like thinking about, hey, what is the market doing? Right? So who are my competitors? What are they, actually selling? What do their offers look like? Taking in that data and then, building up some ideas of like, okay, I think this is going to work. And then I think this type of affiliate will work. I think these sales angles will work. Then you go out and actually find those affiliates, right? And this is the key. You need to start sampling. I would say like generally around 200 samples per month is a good baseline. That's enough to like start testing content, start seeing what comes back, and really then doubling down. So like that month 2 is just going to be like data. You're going to be looking at, okay, again, like what click-through rates were on each video, seeing which ones were, standouts, and then looking at the actual content, seeing which hooks performed well, and then what affiliate kind of demographics, age, race, gender, what language were they speaking. All of those things play a really, really important part. And then month 3 is just like, that's your chance to double down on everything, to take all that those learnings and really, really push out to those affiliates. And I would say this is kind of when you can start thinking about, okay, if we have had some affiliates have success, let's say they've generated, even at this stage, like, an affiliate does $100 in GMV, nothing crazy. Reach out to that person, see if you can start to like build a relationship with them. This is really like the most important part about Shop, and I tell this to like all the new brands that come on our platform. You're never more than like 10 creators away from doing 100K in sales per month, right? It just doesn't take that many creators. It may take a lot of samples, it may take a lot of information to find those creators, but once you've found them, like if you're able to build a real relationship with them, you can scale just like infinitely with, again, like 10, 20, 30 creators. So if it's such a low volume, the main focus should be like, okay, how can I go deep with those creators? How can I get to know them? I want to know, who their family is, what's going on in their life, right? And actually being able to have that relationship is going to make them really, really excited to work with the brand on a long-term basis.
Well, you may have sort of answered this already, but I'm curious, for you, what based on your experience, what's the biggest misconception e-commerce operators have about TikTok Shop right now?
I would say that they just kind of treat it like any other channel, and it's just so vastly different on so many levels. So like when I started on TikTok, I was historically an Amazon seller, and so I kind of like took all my Amazon learnings and applied them to TikTok, and nothing really stuck in the beginning. It was only when like I shifted and started trying to learn like the affiliate side of things that things really picked up for me. And so the key there was like, okay, how do we like rebuild this from the ground up? TikTok is all about discovery. 90% of purchases happen in the feed, right? So people aren't going on there and searching for your product, right? Generally, they are scrolling, they're being entertained, and then they're surfaced an affiliate video, a brand page video, a live, and then they're learning about your product. And generally, on that first video or maybe second video, they're gonna make that purchasing decision. And the great thing about Shop is like, they'll handle all of your retargeting for you, you know? If you put out a piece of content, a buyer clicks on that product, they don't actually purchase, TikTok will automatically surface them more affiliate content, brand page content, live content on the same product to try and get that conversion because they've already showed interest. So there's just so much nuance to the platform. And I mean, we just see this over and over again where it kind of just gets like chucked onto the influencer manager at a brand. It's like a hand grenade. And it's just so vastly different. And so kind of like rebuilding and your understanding of the platform is really the biggest misconception.
Gotcha. Well, I want to ask both of you, you know, creator affiliates are very much the engine for a lot of TikTok Shop brands. What does managing those relationships actually look like for each of you sort of day to day, and at what point should a brand start investing in affiliates?
So for Pop Daddy and other brands that I work with, we send out over 2,000 messages a week for each brand. So that's a lot. It sounds like a lot, but it's all powered by Kruva. So we use Kruva to help manage our affiliates, send out all the messages, follow up with all the affiliates, and it's just like an all-in-one area where we manage all of our affiliates, and that's how we do it. And that, like, when we tell people that we send out 2,000 messages a week, they're like, "Oh my God, that seems like a lot." It's very manageable when you have a tool to help you do it. So we use Kruva to help manage all the affiliate outreach and all the affiliate management.
Yeah, I would just say it's like building for scale, where a lot of the time with affiliate or influencer, you know, you're working with like a limited number of influencers, whereas with affiliate, it is so much about like the full funnel, you know, understanding, okay, if we're sending out 2K a week or even more, right? Some of our brands will send out 10,000 messages a day. And so when we're looking at that many messages going out, it's like, okay, if we're sending out 10,000 messages, how many of those affiliates are actually requesting a sample? Let's call it like 10%. That's a great number, but let's just call it 10. So we have 1,000 affiliates now. How many of them are we sending a sample to? Let's call it half. So now we're down to 500. Now, of those people, how many post one video, right? That's going to whittle it down. How many then post multiple videos? How many generate even one sale? And then how many go on to be like all-star affiliates? So when we're thinking about Shop, it's like, okay, how do we actually manage that entire funnel? So obviously we want to increase like the percentage who are ending up in that all-star affiliate segment. So like, you know, of course you need a mass outreach tool, you need the management, also then like a community tool. So a lot of brands will choose Discord for this. Some will have WhatsApp, some will use Lark, which is more of a ByteDance TikTok specific tool, but somewhere to like manage and house all of these creators. So you're not just having to deal with them on TikTok. TikTok can be incredibly noisy for them because there's so much, you know, such a volume of messages that these creators are getting. So generally, if you're able to pull them off into something like Discord and start building those one-on-one relationships, we see that working really well for the brands.
Another thing I would note too, to make sure if you're a brand that's just getting started on TikTok, a lot of the advice that's out there is like send as many affiliates as you possibly can. Like, doesn't matter about quality, just quantity. We look at every single affiliate that comes through. We look at them not just from like a GMV generated in the last 30 days perspective, because like the TikTok Shop dashboard will tell you like how many sales they got, which a lot of people would just be like, okay, you know, anyone over 1,000 GMV generated in the last 30 days, let's accept them. You'll get a lot of poor quality content that way. I recommend looking at each individual affiliate and looking at their like last 10 videos to judge their content and see like, okay, like, are they showing the product on camera? Are they showing their face on camera? Are they demonstrating the product? So vetting from like a content perspective, it's a little bit more manual, but the quality of content that you'll get if you do that is going to be much higher than just like, setting a filter for any affiliate over 1,000 GMV and just accepting all of them. So just one tip there.
We're going to have to wrap up, but I wanted to, if you guys wanted to invite people out to your booth out there in the front.
Yeah, come by the booth if you have any questions on TikTok Shop. We have an army of TikTok Shop experts at our booth, so come by if you want to continue.
And if you want to try some pretzels.
All right. Well, listen, thank you guys so much for coming out.